welcome to another edition of your favorite game plan show streaming live on Facebook, on our Facebook page, Pulse Ghana Sports. Thank you very much for joining us. Like I said, my name is Fifi Anaman, and we'll have to apologize profusely for our inability to bring you yesterday's show, as well as the break in the earlier transmission today. It's due to some technical issues that we are working around the clock to rectify. So that said, well, we won't be picking up from where we left, or we'll just do the show over again for the benefit of those of you who missed the first but brief broadcast. I'll be telling you about the Ghana-Mexico games and issues arising from that one. And of course, we'll be previewing the Black Stars game against USA. That game will be happening tomorrow in East Hartford, Connecticut. That's the place the match will be happening, at the Pratt & Whitney Stadium at Rentschler Field. Now, I'll also be telling you about Danny Welbeck, who is currently in the country and what he's up to. I'll be telling you about Derek Boateng, who has retired from international football. And I'll also be telling you much more about the bout that will be happening tonight between Joseph King Kong Agbeko and Nicodemus Otieno from Kenya. That will be happening at the Boateng Boxing Arena tonight. So for those of you who are in Accra, you can make your way to the Boateng Boxing Arena for a Friday night of sizzling boxing action. Like I said, my name is Fifi Anaman. We are streaming live on our Facebook page, Pulse Ghana Sports. Remember to catch us also on Twitter on @PulseSportsGH. We are also on Instagram and on Snapchat as well. Now let's just begin with what happened on Thursday morning. Now the game officially took place on Wednesday, but if you talk about Ghana time, it took place on Thursday morning at 1:30 a.m. Ghana against Mexico. Of course, against a Team B of Mexico, like everyone has been saying, because the Team A of Mexico are currently competing at the Confed Cup. Of course, yesterday they lost to Germany, and so they are out, but most of their players weren't the ones that played the Ghanaians. Now, it was played at the NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas. About 37,000 people made their way to the game, and at the end of the match, Ghana lost. We lost by a goal to 0. Now, this is what happened. In the 31st minute, a Mexican player called Jesus Gallardo stormed into the Ghana box. Our own defender, John Boy, remember him from the infamous Brazil kissing of the word of cash episode. He tripped Jesus Gallardo, and the referee, Baldomero Toledo, he's Mexican-American, he quickly pointed to the spot and awarded the Mexicans a penalty kick, which was converted in the 32nd minute by Elias Hernandez. So we went down by a goal to 0. But Ghanaians did very well in that game, even though the Mexicans had the lion's share of possession. They had a possession of 57%. Ghana had, of course, 43%. But if you look at the shots on goal, the Black Stars were far better. We had 21 shots on goal, 9 of which were on target, and the Mexicans had only 8 shots on goal and 3 were on target. But of course, efficacy in football speaks a lot. They scored 1 goal out of their 3 shots, which were on target and on goal. Now, after the game, and I'll be showing you the highlights of the game in a bit, but let's talk about what happened after the game. James Kwesi Appiah, the coach of the side, was totally angry with the referee, Baldomero Toledo, who has been a referee in the MLS since 2004. So quite experienced. But Kwesi Appiah was saying the referee was biased. And I'll be reading you his quotes right about now. He said, talking about the referee, I was really, and this is Kwesi Appiah emphasizing, shocked that in a game like this, they would allow a Mexican to be the center referee when we're playing Mexico. I am really surprised. He went on to say, I never knew about it until after the game. I heard he was Mexican-American. I mean, it doesn't make any difference. If you are Mexican, you are Mexican. On top of that, his behavior on the pitch was very bad. The surprising thing, he used the F word against one of my players. That is something that modern days you don't need from a referee. I don't know who organized it, but because there are so many referees in America here, I'm surprised that someone from Mexico handled our game. So Kwesi Appiah was smelling something fishy. He felt that referee Baldomero Toledo, who is Mexican-American, was very biased towards the team. Now let's have a look at the highlights of the game, and let me hear from you. What do you make of what happened? Just have a look at this.
Pero sabemos que son cuestiones más económicas. Ya la mueve el conjunto africano. Aquí está a Champong, tocando la pelota hacia adelante el número 22, recuperación para la escuadra nacional. Se venía preparando Gallardo, el hombre de los Pumas, tocaba en corto, terminó perdiendo en ese sector Gutiérrez.
Nacional. Y eso que hay movimiento y rotación, ¿no? Gutiérrez va por un costado, luego va por el otro. Otra vez, cada vez que Eric toca la pelota le da cierta claridad al equipo nacional.
Abrió la cancha para Gallardo, la va pidiendo México, podría ser el primero, sigue Gallardo, se mete. ¿Quieren falta penal? ¿Cómo no? ¡Adentro! No me esté tocando, que esto es CONCACAF. No me toque, le dice Baldomero. Esto no es la Confederación Africana de Fútbol. Aquí se marca penal, ¿cómo no?
Gallardo avanza con la pelota, ya no sabe qué hacer con ella.
Penal, doctor.
Sí, es que sí.
¿O qué quiere usted el VAR? Aquí no lo tenemos.
No, es que sí lo es, Al final de cuentas,
otro tipo de VARes.
Sí. O sea, la pierna derecha de Boye se vuelve un obstáculo para Gallardo, que iba para cualquier
penal,
parte, ¿no?
Doctor.
Sí.
El doctor Codesal le marcó así penal a Alemania. Esto es penal. ¿De qué me está hablando?
Ahí está Baldomero y viene Hernández.
31. Hernández. Reclamos de los africanos que fueron ahí a toquetear a Baldomero. Richard Ofori. Concentrado. Hernández se prepara. Le está costando trabajo el partido de Hernández, pero viene. Se va colocando la distancia de los futbolistas, que no traten de invadir el área. Atención con Hernández. Baldomero charla con los africanos. Mete el silbatazo. Aquí está Hernández contra Ofori. Llega Hernández. Gol. Gol. De México, apareció Elías, que terminó tocando la pelota por el costado, simplemente cruzó el guardameta y deja el balón prácticamente pegado a la base del palo derecho.
Él le ofrece la parte interna, ¿no? Del pie derecho. Hay esta pequeña paradiña. En ese momento Fori se va hacia el costado de la izquierda y muy bien cambia de dirección Elías Hernández. Decíamos, México no jugaba bien, encuentra el gol. Esperemos que a raíz de esto empiece a hacerlo. El partido estaba para cualquier parte.
Okay, so what do you make of what you just saw? I mean, that was the Ghana loss to Mexico. You saw the penalty, you saw the reactions from the referee Baldomero Toledo. Of course, the Mexicans, Team B, as most Ghanaians are so eager to believe, because obviously the team has been split into two. This current side of the Mexicans are being coached by Luis Pompilio Paez. He is the technical assistant to Juan Osorio, who is the mainstream Mexican coach. So it's, the Mexicans will be competing at the CONCACAF Gold Cup, which will be taking place in the US from the 7th of July, which is next week. And so they are using the side for that tournament. And they've sent one team, which is Team A, to the Confed Cup. Of course, yesterday they lost by 4-1 to the Germans. But Ghana, everyone is criticizing Kwesi Appiah's team for losing to a Team B side. But if you really look at the Ghana squad, I mean, of course, Kwesi Appiah hasn't settled on a Team A yet. He's also banding around the names of some players, trying and, what we like to call in Ghana, trial and error, trying a lot of players and seeing what works and what doesn't work, what gels, and, who has that chemistry. And so Ghana ourselves are not a work which is done yet. We are still a work in progress. Now tell me what you think about this game. We are streaming live on Facebook, Pulse Ghana Sport. Of course, we are playing the US tomorrow. For those of you who are in the US and you are in East Hartford, Connecticut, please make sure you make your way to the Pratt and Whitney Stadium at Rensselaer Field, which is where the Black Stars of Ghana will be playing the Americans in a friendly game. Now, for those of us in Ghana, the game kicks off at 8:45 p.m. local time. There's a lot of online streaming links. I'll be providing it for those of you who need it, but otherwise you can just go to Google and search for the links and store them, and when the game is up, you will watch them. We are still yet to confirm whether a local television station will show the game. So that's what is happening for the Black Stars of Ghana. But a lot of issues coming up. We are just hearing that the team will make $455,000 from both friendlies against Mexico and the USA. Now, this is the breakdown according to Sports Minister Isaac Esiema. He said we'll receive $130,000 from the Mexico friendly, which we lost, and an additional sum of $325,000 from playing the Americans. Now, this is very significant. Of course, the Americans are going to, have to pay a lot of money for this because it's a preparatory game for them ahead of the CONCACAF Gold Cup, which they are hosting. Okay, so the game is much more important to the US of A than it is for Ghana. Of course, for Kwesi Appiah, it's a chance for him to assess players ahead of World Cup qualifiers, which resume in August. But for the Americans, they have a tournament that is taking place just around the corner, 7th of July. And so this game is very important. That is why they will have to, cough up a lot of money for the Black Stars. So they are paying us $325,000, and we received $130,000 from the Mexico game. So that is what is happening in the camp of the Black Stars. This was confirmed by Sports Minister Honorable Isaac Esiama. But interesting development coming up ahead of the USA game. Now, this is from sports journalist Sadiq Adams Obama. He has made a very explosive post on Facebook alleging that there's been a lot of irregularities with the Ghana squad in terms of their traveling to East Hartford, Connecticut for the game against the USA. Now, I'll read you Adams' post in a bit. He said, "It is quite obvious, as I say every day, that Ghana football is essentially in the pocket of Mr. Kwesi Nyantakyi, who is the president. And as and when he wishes to touch it, he does." Now, true, the man has remarkably risen to the highest level in global football administration, and it is very commendable. But after becoming the longest-serving FA president in Africa, it would have been advisable for him to concentrate on his FIFA, CAF, and WAFU positions whilst making way for a more dynamic and young administrator to take charge of Ghana football. He will still be a relevant consultant nonetheless. Now, he goes on to say, "There's no single man that you do not hear of scandals and horrible stories in connection to the Ghana FA. So much so that bad news emanating from the camp doesn't surprise anyone again. It is evidently clear that Mr. Nyantakyi doesn't care a hoot about what becomes of Ghana football again. Not sounding sarcastic, this is something even people close to him have said." Now, how can you sign a contract to play 2 friendly matches? You take huge dollars for those games, and yet the players do not have tickets to fly. So this is a report by Sadiq Adams Obama. He's saying that most players did not have tickets to fly to East Hartford, Connecticut for the USA game. And I quote him again. He says that it has to take the captain of the team to buy tickets at the airport to save the situation. So Sadiq Adams is saying Asamoah Gyan had to buy tickets for some players ahead of the USA friendly, which is taking place tomorrow. And even those who got tickets had to fly in batches, some connecting via route and others having to travel 3 hours by road to join the team. Very, very harrowing details there. You have some players arriving at midnight in the hotel, less than 24 hours to an international game, when FA officials are comfortably asleep. In all of these, you could excuse the FA president when he's not with the team. But the man is there. This is Sadiq Adams Obama again, with his wife and kids, flying in a more organized flight and in the same hotel with dejected players and technical staff. It is not bad to fly with your family for a holiday. But how does it feel for players to see your wife and kids flying in business class and following them for a friendly when some of these players are left stranded at the airport without tickets? He, the FA boss, takes ultimate responsibility because he signed he, the FA boss, takes ultimate responsibility because he signed the contract and received all the monies on behalf of the GFA. Then we already discussed the money. $455,000 for the Black Stars for these 2 friendlies. Now, to the extent, several executive committee members, who are the highest decision-making body of the FA, are at sea regarding the organization of these 2 friendlies. So Sadiq Adams is making a bold allegation. He's saying that Kwesi Nyantakyi made arrangements for this these friendlies against Mexico and USA, and some other GFA committee members are not aware of the full details. They are not privy to the full details of these 2 friendlies, other than the surface fact of the venues and the squads and the monies that we are receiving. Now, Sadiq Adam goes on to say, enough of these classless incidents and episodes of scandals. After all, this mess will be swept under the carpet. The team loses to the USA, and you see people blaming the coach for poor tactics. So, very, very revealing and emotional post by my colleague Sadiq Adams Sports Obama. He is saying Kwesi Nyantakyi is at fault for what is happening in the USA currently. He says some players are stranded at the airport, and Kwesi Nyantakyi and his family flew allegedly via business class, and some players are stranded. And so, you know, the discrepancy and the contrast is something that is hurting his administration. We'll be following these details, of course, on the Game Plan Show, and we'll be bringing you updates as and when we get them. But just a reminder, Black Stars against the US of A tomorrow evening, 8:45 p.m. Ghana time. If you're in the USA, East Hartford, Connecticut, it will take place at the Pratt & Whitney Stadium at Rensselaer Field. Now, away from the Black Stars, we've talked about them a lot. Now, let's move on to Danny Welbeck, who is in Ghana. Danny Welbeck, of course, is a 26-year-old English striker. He's capped many times for the English national team. Scored a couple of goals, has played at Manchester United before, currently plays at Arsenal. Last season, won the FA Cup. He's currently in Ghana because he's of Ghanaian descent. And we brought you an image, and I'm sure my producer will put on the screen a bit, of him being in Ghana, posing in a photo with some friends. He is at his family hometown at Nkarie in the Ashanti region. And the new development is that Danny Welbeck's family have helped build a school. Actually, yes, Danny Welbeck's family, his mom, in association with his church in England, have helped build a school for the people of Nkarie, and he posted a photo of it. We'll be showing it on your screens. Yes, Danny Welbeck building a school for the people of Nkarie. He posted this picture with the caption, "Proud of my mother and St. Andrew's Church, Droylsden, Manchester, for donations towards building St. Paul's Sunshine Preschool in Nkarie, GA." So, very, very commendable from Daniel Ni Taki Mensah Welbeck. For those of you who don't know his real name, that is actually the full extent of his name. So he's Ghanaian, but of course he plays for the English national team. But he's proud of his Ghanaian roots. He's back, and his family is doing some wonderful social work in his hometown of Nkarie. So that's it from the camp of Danny Welbeck, who is currently in Ghana. Now let's move on to the Joseph Agbeko and Nicholas Otieno clash. This is something I'm pretty much excited about. Joseph Agbeko, of course, last fought in December 2016. He's not fought again, and he'll be fighting tonight at the Bukom Boxing Arena. A lot to look forward to. Of course, he's currently 37, Joseph Agbeko. He's a one-time IBF bantamweight champion of the world. He held the title from 2007. He defended it twice, and he lost it in 2009, won it back in 2010, and lost it again in 2011. So he's seen it all, done it all. He's also a bantamweight champion of the IBO, which is another division. He won that title in 2013 as well. So Joseph Agbeko, who has a record of 31 fights and 5 losses, he will be facing, wait for it, Nicodemus Otieno Okudo, aka Nick Otieno. He is 43 years old, has fought 31 times and has lost 11 times. He's from Kenya, and so he will be, in fact, he's currently in the country. He's training for the bout, which will be taking place tonight. Now, Otieno has fought a Ghanaian before. He fought Raymond Kome in December 2014 and lost. So that is his record against Ghanaian opposition. That's Nick Otieno. Now, both fighters, interestingly, doing some research on this fight, both fighters interestingly fought a Tanzanian boxer called Haji Juma. Now, Agbeko fought Haji Juma in December 2016 in Accra. He won. And Otieno fought Haji Juma in Nairobi in February this year. He also won. So they've used Haji Juma of Tanzania as sort of the punching bag, you know, as part of their training ahead of this bout tonight. So Joseph Agbeko and Nicholas Otieno, Bukom Boxing Arena, Friday, June 30, tonight actually. If you're in Accra, please make sure you make your way to the Bukom Boxing Arena. Let's take a breather on the Game Plan Show. We'll be back, and I'll be reading some of your comments as soon as we return to the show. We are back on the Game Plan Show. For all of you who have joined us, thank you very much. It's now time to do some of your comments. My name is Fifi Anama. We are streaming live on your Facebook, on our Facebook page, in fact, Pulse Ghana Sport. This is the Game Plan Show, the 41st edition of this series. Now, Sana Menga, you're saying nice. Thank you very much for joining us. Gordon Quest, you are a loyal viewer of our show. Thank you very much. You're saying, Fifi, I was at the stadium between Ghana versus for the game between Ghana and Mexico. John Boy made a very big mistake for that challenge. Well, you are at the stadium, and so we honestly believe your verdict of it. We showed you highlights, and even for us in Ghana, we saw what John Boy did to Jesus Gallardo, who stormed into the box, and the referee Toledo had to whistle for a penalty. That penalty tended to be decisive, and many people are saying Ghana would have won that game because we played better, even though they had more possession than us. But, you know, that's a topic for another day. Now, Gomashi Ibrahimovic Gomez, you're saying, watching you live from Budubram, Fifi. Thank you very much, Gomashi. You are watching from Budubram. I am very grateful for the fact that you've joined us for the show. Saifi Ahmed Milan, you're saying, if I'm right, no local player featured in this match apart from the keeper. We want to see the local players featuring against the USA. Well, Saifi, we hope Kwesi Appiah hears your cries, because he took about 6 local players with him, about 5, sorry, 2 goalkeepers, about 2 defenders, and 1, attacking player in Winfo Kobna of Hearts of Oak. We hope to see them feature, of course, apart from Richard Ofori, who played. We've not really seen a lot of the others. Samuel Safo is in there, Nicholas Opoku is in there, and as well as Winfo Kobna. Now let's move on to some more comments. Jonas, your boy, you're saying, I agree to you, boss. Star did well, but just that they did not take their chances. I wish them better luck in the next game. I'm watching live from UAE. And thank you very much. We have very loyal viewers from the United Arab Emirates in Iron. Like I said the last time, I have a very interesting story with Abu Dhabi, a personal story that I'll be sharing one of these days. CK Junior saying, I'm watching live from Barcelona. Fifi, God will bless you. Oh, thank you very much. God will bless you too, CK Junior. I appreciate it very much. Now, Perry the Graft Kofi, you are saying it's Team C. Why? So you are saying Ghana played Team C of Mexico. Well, fair point. I mean, it's not their Team A. That we know for sure. Of course, Javier Hernandez, Chicharito, Rafael Marquez, and all the others, the Mexican, juggernauts, the big players, the Titans, were all at the Confed Cup. They lost to Germany. But of course, they used a lot of locally based players for the game. Like I said, Luis Pompilo Paez, who is the technical assistant to Juan Osorio, is coaching them. And so it's not the same side. Of course, they are going to play in the CONCACAF Gold Cup in July, which is next week. So that's what is happening with the Ghana and Mexico side. Now, Richie Jima, you are watching from London. Thank you very much, Richie Jima. Ohene Kofi Boateng, you are saying, I'm watching live from Fifi, from China. I saw my name in there and got a bit confused. You're saying you're watching live from China. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, Ohineba Kofi Boateng. I appreciate it very much. Mr. Ochri Senior, you're saying, looks like the GFA is a company for some particular people in Ghana. Well, this is a theory that has been propounded a lot. What do you think about it? I mean, give us a much more comprehensive assessment of what you think about what is happening with the FA. Nana Ebisa, you're saying, I'm watching you live from Italy. Thank you very much, Nana Ebisa. Nana Yao Cubic, you are saying, Fifi, Nana Yao Cubic, holla, how you doing? I hope you are doing very well. Thank you very much for joining the show. Fuzi Rahman, you're saying, I think Ghana has played a very good game, although luck is not on our side. I hope they beat the USA. Nana Yao Cubic, you are saying, good work, Fifi. Thank you very much. Thomas APK Queen, you are watching from Manchester in the UK. Thank you very much. How's Manchester though? A lot of incidents there, and I hope you are quite safe. Fahad Osuman, you're saying, Fifi, Fahad, hi, how are you doing? Nana Kweku is my Facebook friend. He's saying, you have any info on appearance fee for the 2 games? I do indeed, Nana Kweku. I mentioned the figures for you. We are paid $130,000 for the Mexico game and $350,000, I believe, for the USA game. In all, we were paid $455,000. So if my math was wrong, please check that for me. But I know that in totality, we received $455,000 for the Mexico and USA games. Now, so okay, spread across both games. This was confirmed by the sports minister, so it's not coming from me, but from the sports minister. So the EFA have made a lot of money from this, and you would expect us to make the most out of it. But we're already hearing players being stranded and stuff like that. We hope they are not true. Of course, the game plan show is making effort to contact our man on the ground. We have Michael Otieje, who is currently in the USA. He'll be bringing us some updates as and when we get them. Charles Thompson, you are saying you are watching from London. Thank you very much. Saifi Ahmed Melania, you are saying Kwesi Nyantakyi Football Association, not Ghana Football Association. That's your opinion, though. I believe you are entitled to it. Of course, a lot of issues with Ghana football, but we'll be discussing them on another edition. Now let's talk Richmond Boakye Yiadom. Can you imagine? This guy keeps scoring and scoring and scoring and scoring. Now Richmond Boakye Yiadom has, he joined Red Star Belgrade in January this year, half season, but he went 16 league games and he scored 12 goals. Can you imagine? 12 goals in 16 league games in the Serbian league. And now in the off season, which is in the run up to next season, so the Europa League, right? They play qualifiers. Now in the first qualifying round for next season's edition of the Europa League, Red Star Belgrade, which is the club Richmond Boakye Yiadom plays for, are currently competing. Now they played a game yesterday in their qualifiers, and Richmond Boakye Yiadom actually scored a brace in that one. He's 24 years of age, of course, scoring from all angles. He scored that game against Floriana, a team from Malta. So they went by 3-0. He scored the first goal and the last goal. And have a look at the goals that he scored. Richmond Boakye Yiadom, 24 years of age, Black Star striker, firing from all cylinders. Have a look at this. Okay, so you saw for yourself Richmond Boakye Yiadom, the 24-year-old who is firing from all cylinders. Most of you remember him. He once played at Juventus. That was in somewhere around 2012. Now, since then, he's played across a lot of clubs. Now, at Juve, he was sent on loan to Sassuolo and to Elche. Then he joined Atalanta. He joined Roda JC on loan, Latina on loan, then he signed for Latina, then he went to Red Star Belgrade on loan, and now he signed, this is the good news, just this month he signed a permanent deal with Red Star Belgrade. Now who wouldn't give a permanent deal to such a striker? He scored 18 times in 21 games since he joined in January. Now, Richmond Boakye Yiadom is doing quite well in Serbia. He scored what? He scored 4 goals in 4 cup games for Red Star Belgrade. And in the league, he scored 12 goals in 16 games. And now in the Europa League, he scored 2 goals in 1 game. So a lot of goals and a lot of games for Richmond. We had had a conversation with him that, you know, as soon as he's done with his duties in Serbia, he wants to see him with the Black Stars. And that is what is happening in the camp of Richmond Boakye Yiadom, doing very, very well. Then let's go on Facebook and read some more of your comments. Remember, this is the Game Plan Show. We are streaming live on our Facebook page, Paul's Ghana Sport. My name, as always, is Fifi Anaman, and it's my honor to be able to present this show to you. And to all of you who have joined us, thank you very much. I am enjoying your comment very, very much. Let me see who is commenting. Let's see. A lot of you watching, a lot of comments coming in. Okay, Nana Kweku, you are saying thanks for the clarification, bro. Thank you very much, Nana Kweku, for also joining. Hi, Fifi, big up, and God bless you. I'm watching live from Germany. Steven Jan, thank you very much for your comment and for watching as well. Kelvin Dia, you are watching live from Dubai. Kelvin, thank you. Daniel K. Dekakwi, you are watching live from Napoli, Italy, and enjoying the show. Thank you very much. Daniel Dekapui. Nana Kweku, you're saying most of us thought Richmond Boakye Yiadom was going to take over from Baby Jet. Very glad to see him under a resurgence. Well, we are also very happy for Richmond. He showed a lot of early promise, didn't he? He even went to the 2015 edition of the Under-20 World Cup as a foreign-based player. Very good. He was given his Black Stars debut, scored a couple of goals for us. You know, a lot of hopes for him. Then he dipped a bit, like I mentioned. He was at Juve, he was sent at Elche, Sassuolo. At Atalanta, he was sent to Roda JC and, you know, Latina. He joined Latina. Then he was sent to Red Star Belgrade, you know, on loan. Now he's signed for Red Star Belgrade. He found a home there and he's doing very well. We hope that he's able to sustain his form or even better it, you know, that his form goes on an upward curve for the national team as well. Now, Malaika Oluman, you are saying good job from Italy. Thank you very much, Malaika. Muntari Young, you are saying Boakye is a good striker. Well, that's a very, very interesting observation. Anwa Bandabilad Sadat, I hope I got your name right. You're saying you're watching from Qatar. Thank you very much for joining the show. Ishmael Qatari Shaba, you guys always sell the players to us. When they come, they perform poorly. I mean, come on. If somebody is scoring, it is our job on the Game Plan Show to showcase what they are doing. This is a Ghanaian player doing wonderful stuff, and we believe, you know, they have to be given the platform to be known. Now, somebody made the reference yesterday when we ran the show, in fact 2 days ago, that we brought Raphael Dramna onto the show, not because he's a friend of the show, but because he did genuinely well at Austria Lustenau and at FC Zurich. He scored over 30 goals. Now, no Ghanaian in Europe in any tier of football has scored 30 goals since Tony Yeboah in the 1990s. So this is a big deal of a striker. He was given his Black Stars debut after we presented him on the show. He scored 2 goals. So Raphael Dramna is a prospect for the future. He's only 21. Got a lovely, lovely left foot. Has a lot of goals in him. You already see what he's doing. Now we brought you Samuel Safo on the show a few weeks back. A Ghana Premier League defender. He's the highest scorer in the league with 6 goals. From defense, he's rock solid at the back. Lovely captain for Liberty Professionals. A few weeks later, he gained his Black Stars call-up. You know, so a lot of players. Winfo Kobna, we brought him onto the show. You know, he was doing wonderful stuff with House of Folk in the Ghana Premier League. We just thought people have to know what is happening. You have to know your stars, and we have to celebrate our own. And, you know, they've been noticed, and they've all been given a running with the Black Stars. So it's not about we selling you players. It's about us showcasing the talent that we have. And, you know, people have to know about them. They are Ghanaians, they are doing well, and it's our responsibility to make sure that you know which Ghanaians are performing well. We've talked a lot about Kevin Prince Boateng and what he did at Las Palmas, Abdul Majid Waris and what he did at Lorient, David Akam and what he's doing at Chicago Fire. So you can imagine, this is all that we do on the Game Plan Show, bringing you fresh perspectives as and when we get them. Now, Mr. Otri Senior, you're saying, I'm enjoying your show, Fifi. Keep it up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Muntari Young, you're saying, football agents, inbox me. Okay, Muntari. Prince Baba Yara Rahman, you're saying, watching live from Bologna. Big up, Fifi. Thank you very much. Fuzi Rahman, you're watching live from Fifi. From Italy, sorry. And you're saying, Fifi, your Facebook account. Fuzi Rahman, I am Fifi Anaman on Facebook. Please run a quick search on Facebook. And, you know, I have two accounts, a public account, a page, and a personal one. So you can check out any one of them. Send me a friend request and let's start a conversation, Fuzi. Now, Jonas, your boy, you're saying, watching you live from the UAE, you are doing a very good job. Keep it up. Thank you very much. Ishmael Qatar, you're saying, okay, I've already read your comment. I believe I've addressed it as well. So that's it for what is happening in the camp of Richmond Boakye Yiadom. Now we'll take a quick break on the game plan show and we'll come back to wrap up and read a few more of your comments. Then we are out of here. We are back on the game plan show. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Fifi Anaman as always. And let me tell you about Derek Boateng before we quickly bounce out of the studio. He is saying that he has retired from international football. Of course, we've not seen him in a long time. Derek Boateng last appeared for the Black Stars, I believe, concrete in 2013 at the AFCON in South Africa. Yes, Kwesi Appiah was then in charge of the side. He played for the team in midfield. He's capped, he's now 34, right? He was capped 41 times for Ghana between 2001 and 2013 and scored a single goal. Remember him from the 2001 FIFA Under-20 World Cup. He was part of the Black Satellite squad that had Michael Essien, the likes of John Mensah and Sule Muntari, Adokwe Papo, and the rest. They lost the final by 3-0 against an Argentina side that featured the likes of Javier Saviola, as well as Maxi Rodriguez. So Derek Boateng is saying, Pam no try no me with international football, and you know he'll be focusing on his club football. Of course, he's played at so many clubs. At Beta Jerusalem in Israel, he's played at Fulham, at a point Protesk, I think, in Ukraine. I always get that name bundled up. But that's it for Derek Boateng. He's saying he's quit international football. Of course, he's not played for the Black Stars in the last 4 years. So this doesn't feel like too much of a loss there. But he did very well when he put on a Ghana shirt. 41 times he played for us between 2001 and 2013. And now he's taking a bow. So all the best to you, Derek Boateng. You are 34 years. Probably still a lot of club football left in you. But you feel, you know, it is time for you to leave the Black Stars for the younger one. Derek Boateng, thank you very much for your service to Ghana. And like I said, we wish you all the best. Now, that's it for the game plan show. But before we end, like I said, I will be reading a few of your comments before I finally wrap up. Let's see who is commenting currently on Facebook. Jaden Brown, you're saying you're watching live from Saudi Arabia. I seem very excited today. You know, I'm talking fast and you know all that because it's a Friday and Monday is a holiday. We are all excited about it. We'll be returning with a game plan on Tuesday. Nana Kweku, you're still watching. Thank you very much for joining us. Nana Kweku, you're commenting. You're saying, I watch David Akam frequently in the US. Our coaching staff should make a genuine effort to incorporate him into the Black Stars. He has quality. I believe so too. David Akam has scored 10 goals in about 16 games in the MLS this season. He's one of the best players in America currently. He's in the running to make the MLS All-Star team to play Real Madrid in August. So he's a big deal. I agree with you. Philip Ivakovic, you're saying they went in for money and intentionally lost the game to Mexico. Interesting theory. Now, so the Mexico were happy we'll be back home crying in pain because we think the Black Stars keep descending. I pray Ghanaians wake up. Well, you are saying that we intentionally lost against the Mexicans. Very, very, very contentious there. And Sadat, you are saying but failed to impress since he joined the senior side. I'm sure you're talking about Derek Boateng. Of course, he did his bit for Ghana. He played at the 2006 World Cup as well as the 2010 edition in South Africa. So that's Derek Boateng. Did very well for under-20s. Not so much for the Black Stars, but he had a storied career in Europe as well. So that's it for the Game Plan Show. Thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts here at Pulse Ghana Sport. We have Kojo Cheneboa on live duties. Ejaya was in the studio. Nene Afedi is currently on the field. He couldn't join us for the show today. Michael Edu said, please get well soon. You are currently sick. He's one of our producers on the show. Get well. We hope to see you on Tuesday. And that's it from me, Fifi Anaman. See you Tuesday for more sporting action on the Game Plan Show.